core Epcot always comes off as like the park that is typically seen as primarily for adults who want to just drink and eat around the world, with thrill rides like Test Track and Guardians of the Galaxy. But if you know what to look for, Epcot can be a kid-friendly park. Attractions like Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, Figment, the new Moana feature coming, even all the princesses and character dining that are there. Mix in the seasonal festivals that they have along with all the different entertainment and activities. Epcot can be a family-friendly park. Hey, I'm Nichol. I'm sharing all things doing Disney with kids. I'm sharing wins and lessons learned, so keep watching for all my best Disney with Kids tips. The Food and Wine Festival is a seasonal festival where you can taste your way around the world from July 27th to November 18th. In addition to what I shared before, Epcot's Food and Wine Festival is no exception. It's not just for the adults. It is really designed for the whole family, and in Disney fashion, there's stuff to do with the family. On top of the year-round, already available activities for kiddos to join in on, they have a few additional activities that are here for the Food and Wine Festival. One of the festival-specific activities is going to be Remy's Ratatouille Hide and Squeak. Totally adorable name, right? It's just as adorable as it sounds. You're basically on a scavenger hunt to find Remy all throughout the festival. He's hiding all around on different food booths and in different countries. We did this while we were at the recent festival and my son enjoyed it. Some of the food booths can be a little harder to spot him, but we were given the tip to always look up when we were not able to easily find him. If you want to get in on this activity, you can purchase a map and stickers from select festival locations like Disney Traders, Port of Entry, Creation Shop, World Traveler, and some other merchandise kiosks. As long as you're going throughout the World Showcase, you'll be able to find and spot hidden statues of Remy. He'll be holding different food type objects, which is pretty cute and adorable to find. As you find them, you'll put a sticker on the map to designate what he was holding at that specific location. Once you've found all of them, you'll be able to bring your completed map to one of the locations and get a special surprise. Spoiler alert, it's a cute little lunchbox that they get to pick from a few different designs for it. My son found this enjoyable, but we did have to help him on a good bit of it. For him at 4 years old, it seemed to have a little bit too many spots to be filled in, but with a little bit of encouragement, we definitely helped him move that along. So by the end of the night, we may have needed some internet help to help us fill in the last ones, or the ones that we just honestly couldn't find. So know that if you accidentally skip a food booth or you just can't find Remy, you can definitely use the handy internet to help you fill in those blanks. And in this case, we still had our son search for the specific item using the stickers. The ones that he did find, it was so cute watching him just light up and be excited about spotting them. So all in all, it was a fun experience, just a little bit long-winded. But he did enjoy being able to pick out his lunchbox, though I'm pretty sure that's still sitting in our suitcase. Another activity that's very similar but more exclusive to the Halloween season, starting in September 29th through October 31st, you will be able to do Pluto's Pumpkin Pursuit. Totally adorable, right? Basically, same idea as Remy's Hide and Squeak. And a quick overview of year-round activities that Epcot offers. There are the Kid Cot fun stops located in all of the World Showcase pavilions. This is totally free to do. You go around collecting cards and you're able to learn about the different pavilions in the World Showcase. If you collect all of the cards, you will get a fun little prize. Another fun activity is using the Play Disney Parks mobile app. You can join Scrooge McDuck, his nephews, as they travel around Epcot and the World Showcase to find the priceless 7 lost magic treasures. You are on the hunt to find priceless artifacts and prevent them from getting into the wrong hands. There are treasures hidden in each country pavilion. And again, you're going to need the Play Disney Parks mobile app in order to participate in this. If you're looking for a little bit more of an enticing scavenger hunt that's a little bit more food related, Emil's Fromage Montage is basically just another scavenger hunt but for food. And it's much more fun for adults because it is food focused all around cheese. You're going to be trying different variety of cheeses served in a few different ways throughout different booths across the World Showcase. In order to participate in this, you'll want to make sure that you're picking up a festival passport from one of the Epcot entrances. You'll go around and you can choose 5 from the multiple dishes that they have available that are cheese focused. Every time you purchase one, you ask them for a stamp to track your progress. Once you've collected all 5 stamps, you can head over to the Shimmering Sips Marketplace and they will verify that you have all 5 stamps and they'll give you a little prize. Basically, it was like a cheesecake swirl ice cream type thing. It was pretty good. My kids ended up finishing a majority of it. I definitely stole the little cheesecake bit out of it. It was literally bite size, but my kids really liked the swirl part that was on the inside. All right, let's jump over into the food booths. I mean, this is the part that I really look forward to when I think about the Food and Wine Festival. All right, so Epcot has well over 25 food booths spread mostly throughout the World Showcase. Many of these food booths actually don't open up until later after the park opens, a little bit closer to 11 a.m. Many of the food booths do not really have super kid-friendly food. A majority of it is tailored to like a more sophisticated palate. So if your child has more mature palate than chicken strips and mac and cheese, then they might really enjoy the food. However, realistically and as expected, my kids did not eat a majority of the food, though they did at least try a lot of it. Before we start going through the food, this is my trick to staying on budget as well as making it super easy to make a purchase at the food booth. So I buy a digital Disney gift card prior. Make sure it's digital, that's like the key to this. I get ours online from Sam's Club. If you play with the amount, you can save anywhere from like a few bucks upward to like $15, which in Disney money can be a decent chunk. So I get a digital one purposefully because I screenshot and save it to my favorites in my photos. So when you go to buy, they just scan the screenshot on your phone and it's so easy. You can do this at any Disney place where they accept money, even sit-down restaurants, merchandise stores. And then I also, in addition to this, use the Food and Wine app. And that will price out how much I can plan to spend if I happen to purchase every dish that I really want to try. I'll share more about this free app later, but for now, let's get on to the food that we ate. So I'll mostly be going through all of the different foods that we ate, but also noting how worthy it would be to get it again, so you can see if you can skip it or not, and if the kids actually enjoyed it. We started in France since we entered through the International Gateway coming from one of the Skyliner resorts. So over in France, we had planned to do Remy's, but it shut down, so we headed straight towards their marketplace station over there. We got the beignet au trésor. Okay, I'm just going to start this off by saying I am not going to say all of the names. I'm going to give a basic, like, what I think I can say, because of most of these names, I'm just going to butcher it. So we got the beignets, the cheese beignets from France. These are warm beignets filled with a 3-cheese blend, and as a self-proclaimed cheese lover, I would get them again, but they weren't my top cheese thing, so be on the lookout for that coming very soon. The other thing we got from France is the escargot croissant. It's a croissant filled with escargot, garlic, and parsley. We really like this one, so if you are tempted to try escargot, this is a good little step in. I also got the creme brulee, which is a vanilla creme brulee with strawberry jam. You know, it's an expected creme brulee. The strawberry rose mimosa, it was light, refreshing, and my husband did get in trouble for being the one to finish it off. All right, next up is the Brazil booth. We got, I'm gonna butcher that name. So it's the Brazilian cheese bread. Oh my God, I said be on the lookout for my favorite cheese thing. This is it. Again, cheese girl here. So if you like carbs and cheese, you need this. We got 2 orders and it was all gone. You need this. All right, next up, Belgium. So here we got the entire food menu. We got beer braised beef with Gouda mashed potatoes. Oh, delish. I actually even made the recipe of this, like the copycat recipe for dinner. It was a hit for dinner, and we had leftover this the next day. I'll be sharing that video very soon, including that recipe. So good, especially with fall coming up. Okay, still over at Belgium, we got the Belgian waffles. Obviously, we got both the chocolate and berry compote. They're both delicious, but I personally love a good tart berry dessert paired with like the subtly sweet waffle. So good. So the berry one was definitely my favorite of those two. Okay, next up, Greece. We got the griddled cheese with pistachios and honey. So good. The sweet paired with like that kind of salty cheese. Yes, delish. In Japan, I made a quick stop for a sake passion cocktail. It was nice and fruitful, but my white shirt fell victim to it. All right, flavors of America. We got to try the carrot cake. It was really good and moist enough. They drowned it with cream cheese icing. Definitely good because you need like the icing with every single bite. All right, of course, heading around, we had to stop at Joffrey's for the nutty caramel mocha cold brew. So I am a Joffrey's fan, but if you really like peanut butter, I'd ask for just like extra peanut butter in there. Again, my poor white shirt wasn't yet dirty enough, and I just added to the Hot Mess Express with this treat. Of course, it was mocha, so yeah, you know that left a good dark stain on my white t-shirt. All right, our day took us elsewhere, but I'm going to stick with rounding out the World Showcase. So when we returned later, we made our first stop over at the India booth, getting the curry spice crispy cheese with mango curry ketchup. Whew, my kids actually enjoyed these, and they're like a very upscale cheese stick pretty much, but definitely good. We also got the chicken tikka masala, and okay, so this converted my husband, who had never tried Indian food, and inspired him to suggest we go on an Indian food date when we returned home. Like, I've been begging him to do this, and finally, thanks to Epcot food booth, finally. We've yet to go on said date, but I do have high hopes. So while I tackled the decently long India line, my husband actually grabbed bites for us from China, and this is, if you're wanting to try a lot of different food booths, this is a good strategy. Like, have one person go stand in line for one booth and another person go stand in line for another booth. Many of the times they're like booths pretty close to each other. So if you can do this, this will help you cover a lot more ground and just meet up in the middle. So from China, he grabbed the chicken dumplings, and the sauce made these so good. We also tried the crispy duck bao buns, and this I was highly anticipating. So good, so fluffy. That's what I love about the bao bun, is just that they're so fluffy. The duck was crispy, just like incredibly delicious. I'd get this again. All right, rounding out the east side of the World Showcase, we made it over to Choza for margaritas. I mean, obviously. But I really wish that I had stopped by the Mexico booth for the Pastel Impossible, or Impossible, I don't know, because I love tres leches, and like, someone please try this for me and tell me how it is. I'm really bummed that I missed out on this, and I just like, it totally skipped my mind. As far as margaritas, grab the El Diablo if you like spice. Like, you seriously can't go wrong, or at least I think you can't go wrong with a jalapeno margarita. Yes, solid. All right, making our way over to World Discovery. The Brewing Lab was a hit for our whole family, our party of 6. So we actually stopped here like earlier in the day before heading back for our midday break, but this location had the most like controversial and possibly viral food, like, dare I say, of the entire festival. I don't know. Trust me, it's quite worthy. So we grabbed the peanut butter and jelly sticky wings. Honestly, with these, they should have just stuck with like a peanut butter wing with like a jalapeno jelly dipping sauce. Okay, here I go with jalapeno again. I think that would have been a little bit better of a choice, but like, I enjoy peanut butter, and you know, I decently liked these. They were gone, if that tells you anything. I was also super pumped to try the orange cardamom wings, and they were pretty good as well. But surprisingly, my favorite food at the Brewing Lab was the buffalo Brussels sprouts. Like, okay, you have to like buffalo to like these. Again, my white shirt fell victim to this dish, but the ranch dressing on top, oh, made it so worth it. Like, so good. We tried the frozen fusion of pomegranate raspberry tea with orange ice cream molecules. Think like Dippin' Dots. These were sweet though, like not tangy. My kids raved over this. Like, the grown-ups had a taste, and then my son gladly hogged the rest of it. And then, okay, yes, of course, we tried the very controversial milkshake to hit Disney parks in quite a while, the pickle milkshake. So I thought it was fine. Like, I really didn't get much pickly taste to it. I'm a pickle person, but I got more of like a vanilla or sweet flavoring until you got like the everything bagel seasoning on top. Then that just kind of threw me off. But my son thought it was delicious at first, and then he flipped to like, this is disgusting. My husband said that it only had like a pickle aftertaste. So I think this is one that you're gonna have to try for yourself, because like, it seems to have such a variable take on everyone. Okay, we visited the refreshment station twice, and both times were for the kids. So one of the times we got the frozen Coca-Cola. I asked for a second cup, and then my kiddos just split it. Decent way to save some money. And then another time we tried the frozen Fanta banana topped with caramel and blueberries. Yes, I know, the weirdest concoction that really should be over at the Brewing Lab, but it's not. So honestly, this was actually good. My daughter ended up drinking like a majority of it. She would not give it up to me, but it was so good. Just make sure you have some kind of like other straw, like my silicone straws. I'll link those below. The paper straws that they give out like do not hold up with these slushies. All right, this next booth is a must try if you like anything fried, rightfully called the fry basket. We got the pickle fries. They came out like steaming hot, but they were a little mushy. Dip these in the dough ranch though, and who cares about the texture because the flavor was so good. So I hope they continue to bring back the fry flight like every year. It's a solid hit. My husband raved over the sauce on the barbecue bacon fries with like a smoked aioli. Oh my gosh, that smoked aioli. My favorite was actually the sweet potato fries with candy pecans, marshmallow cream, and maple bourbon glaze. Like, yes. All right, keep in mind that there are two play areas over here. One is outdoors and one is indoors. The outdoor one is going to be right outside of the Connections merchandise area. The other one is going to be inside the exit of the queue of Mission Space. I've discussed this before. The outdoor one, yes, it's going to get hot. It's outdoors. It's not very shaded other than the parent seating area, which I don't know if that's a win or not, but my kids do play here. We don't last very often. The Mission Space one, it's a little bit trickier to get to. You have to park your stroller, then walk all the way in. And if you have two kids and one adult like I have before, honestly, it caused more anxiety than as it was helpful. I was having to make sure I had eyes on both of my kids, whereas people are actually exiting the ride right through the middle of this area. So if you have multiple parents with multiple kids, then it might come in handy as like a split and conquer. But yeah, for me, it was just a bit too much with the exiting of the ride and just a bunch of people flowing through every now and then throughout that area. All right, we're nearing the end of our food journey already, but by this point, like our waistbands probably doubled in size, no regrets. Stopping at the Flavors from Fire. This is our last stop for the Emil's Fromage and our final cheese dish. So from here, we got the smoked corned beef. At first, I wasn't too excited about this one, but it was definitely very delectable and would make for a perfect like fall meal at home, just like that beer braised beef. Oh, still having dreams about that one. All right, so if I wasn't so full, I think I would have appreciated this like a tad more, but I was really excited to try the spiced chocolate tart. So mostly for the barbecue potato chip crust. This was like a lot, very rich. This was too rich for me. Like we didn't even finish it as like the family. The chocolate far overpowered the chip crust and the two flavors were good paired together, but they needed to be more balanced. But the flavors overall together were good. All right, so now that we're done with our cheese excursion, well worth it. We stopped by Shimmering Sips for the prize of a cheesecake, ice cream type goodness. The kids are the ones that, like I said, devoured this. Again, if I wasn't so full, I think I would have also purchased the guava cake from here. But instead, I chose to grab something that's just going to fill me up even more, a bubbly berry mimosa. It was pretty good, so no regrets there. All right, some tips for going to Food and Wine Festival 2023 at Epcot, especially if you have kiddos. So I would definitely skip any seated dining if you're really wanting to focus on food booths. If you only have like a few different food booths or options that you want to taste, then they do offer character dining like Akershus with Princesses or Mickey and Pals over at Garden Grill are both great options, and there's definitely a ton of different options in each of the World Showcase pavilions. But if you want to focus on those food booth options, I would definitely skip any seated dining. Okay, I shared this earlier about the Food and Wine app. What is that? Literally just go to your app store and search like Food and Wine app. It's got like a gray and red color tones in there. So the Food and Wine app was introduced to me by Melissa from Foolish Mortal Planning Company, and it was my favorite way to really like map out what I want to try. So it includes like an actual map of Epcot. And before you go, you can go ahead and just scroll through the different items and tap favorites, and it'll add it to a list of food that you want to try. Once you get in the park, you can easily access an actual map or the list and then filter to find the food booths and food items that you want in the park. Like, go and play with it. It was super helpful, and it gave me a price of how much I could expect to spend if I actually purchased all of the items that I wanted to try. Okay, so if you're wanting to focus on the food at the festival, at least look at a menu before you go, or at like the very last resort, you can pick up one of the little tangible food maps at the entrance of the park. Of course, you can always go into the My Disney Experience app and pull up the different kiosk options and view the menu that way. Having like just some kind of like game plan, at least like up in your head before you go, is just like so much more helpful to give you an idea of where you want to stop. And if this is your only Epcot day, strategize by knowing which food booths are near the rides or attractions that you want to go to. So likely, especially if you're going with kids, you're going to want to also be doing some type of rides, attractions, or even character greets. So our day was heavily focused on food booths. We actually only rode 3 rides this day, and we didn't even make it into World Nature, which is a great area for the kiddos, but we did do a later start, entering around 10 a.m. We took a few hours for a midday break, and then we left the park just before 9 p.m. So be realistic in what you want to accomplish. As you can see, we didn't do it all, but I was very happy in that we did get to try a ton of food options, and we did accomplish a lot of what I actually had set out to do. So there is some type of like entertainment at many of the pavilions, so check those show times, or stay a bit if you happen to catch them while passing by. You might see different performances, lots of different things going on. During this festival, they also have the Eat to the Beat concert series. So check the Disney World app or the website for a list of like the appearances, show times. Recently popular was half of the NSYNC band performing. You can also choose to dine at select sit-down locations and pay a small premium to get reserved seating for the Eat to the Beat. We did this during the Festival of the Holidays to watch the candlelight processional, and with young kids, it honestly just wasn't something I'd splurge on again until they're a little bit older. But if you want guaranteed seating and not to have to wait in a long line for seating, then that option might be for you. But you also don't have to be seated in order to enjoy this. You could just kind of be moseying along right behind the concert area and still be able to hear the beats and whatnot, especially if you're in that American Pavilion area. Well, hopefully you found this helpful in deciding to do Epcot and the Food and Wine Festival with your littles. If you try any of the food I shared, any of the activities or whatnot, especially if you try that Pastel Impossible from the Mexico booth for me, let me know what you think down in the comments. Follow along on Instagram at Bibbidi Bobbidi Bestie. Make sure to subscribe for more Doing Disney with Kids, and like this video if it was helpful. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, besties.